people would pay up front for the year.
Yeah.
And then over the
Do
winter,
they shut
things
down
would
after a
trickle.
certain
And I'm like,
period of time? You know what,
no.
though, even if you.
So as contracts have expired, they've gone on to this more, okay, you have an initial service, and here's your monthly amount, cancel anytime after 100 days.
All right, let's go ahead and call this meeting of the Wards and Boundaries Commission to
So
order.
if you wanna stay.
If we'd all stand, please, and join in saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
Behind you. There it is.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And can we have the roll call, please?
Ashbrook,
Here.
Cooper,
Here?
Dandrin,
Here.
Dewhurst,
Here.
Sam's here, Weiler,
Here.
and Zuckerman.
Here,
We have the minutes from the last meeting in front of us. If I can get a motion for approval of the minutes, if there are no questions.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Zuckerman make the motion. Who second, I'm sorry?
Mark? I second.
You second, thank you.
Ashbrook,
Abstain.
Cooper,
Yes?
Dandrin,
Yes.
Dewhurst,
Yes.
Sam's, Weiler,
Yep. Yes.
Zuckerman,
Yes.
Motion carries, minutes approved. Last week was very productive.
Yeah.
We pretty much got just about all the way through everything. Mr. Hicken, do you have any?
No, I think, other than that, I didn't throw, I have it with me. I have the last change that we had, if we wanted to throw them back up there. But I think that, other than that, I just, we really got it down to the nuts and bolts. I did memorialize, as I think many people did, the changes. And other than that, I think I don't need to say anything more.
Yeah, the changes were pretty minuscule. We got it within like less than 1% pretty much across the board, so.
Yep.
Yeah, it's point,
You guys said last week, you mean last month?
Last meeting.
Last
sorry,
meeting.
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I'm like, did I miss something?
If I said last week, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was last week.
Okay.
Hey, Tim, will the residents that have to move from one precinct to the next, are they notified, or they just kind of find that out during election day, or?
Rick,
how that
do you know
works?
how, does BOE do that, or?
They should.
Yeah, well, when we give, so the path for this moving forward would be a recommendation from this group to city council notifies the Board of Elections.
Okay. Board of
They'll
Election.
look at it and then they would notify. I don't believe even in the changes that you guys are recommending that their polling place is gonna change. I think people, where you guys have made the changes, for the most part, I think you may move from 2A to 2B or something like that, but, but they will. They will. They should notify. So.
Very good.
Fantastic. Well, let's move ahead. Distribution, discussion of summary document. Ms. Zuckerman.
I don't know how many of you got to see it electronically. Unfortunately, after Thanksgiving, COVID hit the family, so.
Oh, sorry to
Yeah,
hear that.
2 years in, and we finally got it.
Now you
But
get
it
it.
was mild. It was all just like everybody laid low at my fatigue. It was fine. I got the antibodies, and I think that helped. So, but yeah, it kind of put me behind on work and everything. So I started this Tuesday and got it done.
And got it
Fine
done.
document.
Good job.
Yeah, I called Tim like twice that day. I was like, "Hey, I need this. Oh no, I need that too."
Happy to help.
So the printout right now, it's shrunk down because it actually shows the comments on the right-hand side. So just tracking changes. Page 2 really just updates based on the titles of everything else. Page 3 is a copy-paste from the charter, so nothing that we would really amend unless we decide to take that whole description out. The commission appointments, my note here was, can everybody check the spelling of their name and make sure I didn't make any typos? And then it kind of moves on to, there's some data I was hoping to put in here just more for knowledge base that has to do with the 2011 commission that took the data where the wards were when they were approved. I know Kathy was kind of looking for some information, Tim was looking for it. Rick was looking for it. So, if we don't have that, I'm just gonna have to pull it and just give current data and not the population increase and none of that. I thought it was nice to have that in there, but if we can't get our hands on the data fast enough, we'll just omit that. I was hoping to find the dates of the commission, who sat on the commission, and the date that the wards were officially adopted by council to kind of just throw those notes in there. And let's see. Then the only other note I believe I had was on page 8. My photos that I had on my phone were blurry for this specific block, and therefore I wanted to take new photos, which I've already done today. So I just took a snapshot of some of the PDF that was provided, so I could at least have that in there. And then page 10 is really just as we discuss. If anybody wants to add things, anybody wants to tear that page off, hand me some, hey, this looks too long, or add this, redact that, so that I can kind of take that back and work on it from there.
Excellent. Any questions or comments, or? We can see where we stand or with the numbers, or take a look at the map, or are we good to go?
I'm good to go, as long as the numbers didn't change from last week. We'll confuse
Well,
ourselves.
see, there were 3
That's right.
families that moved in, but the census hasn't caught on yet,
They
so.
hadn't catch them.
It looks great.
Yeah, very well done, very well done, thank you.
I agree. Mr. Dandrian and Mr. Ashbrook weren't here. If you guys have any specific questions, if anything,
I haven't had a chance to really review it, the notes. I mean, I trust, we started looking at the map at the very first meeting, at the very end, just to kind of get an idea of how, all the homework that was already done to it. So it seemed like it was gonna be pretty easy just to carve out some pieces, so I'm not gonna, I don't wanna go re-review it or challenge it. I'm gonna trust the people that were here at the last meeting,
I mean, you guys were not drawing odd lines, you were trying to use rivers and
Correct.
roads as your
Yep.
boundaries anyhow, right?
Correct.
Yeah, the
Correct.
census blocks actually utilize those to create their blocks. So unless we split a census block, which we can't do, we are following that.
You could,
Yeah,
you can do anything you
we
want.
can do
But we
anything
It's
we
don't
not-
want.
need to.
It's a lot harder.
Yes. So ultimately what we did was we took all 4 wards and said, what should the number be if it was exactly even? How many would we have to gain or lose in each ward in order to do that? And looked for adjoining blocks that had a number as close to that as we could get. And so I think we did it in 20 minutes, standing at the map.
Pretty
So-
close, yeah.
And we made sure the elected officials were not anyone that's getting moved from one precinct.
Yeah,
to the
they're,
And I did
they're all pretty
notate
well
that here,
towards
too.
the center anyhow, so you'd almost have to redesign the whole thing in order to
Yep.
move them.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, and I did make sure to note that since that's in the charter, in that section, just here that the proposed changes would not terminate or otherwise affect the unexpired terms of ward council members listed below, and I put all 4 that actually are for the ward, not at large. So,
that was a good touch.
Because they're gonna ask that question anyhow.
they're gonna be given the packet, it's gonna be in a sealed envelope, they're gonna ask the question, and we're gonna say, did you open the
Did
packet?
you open the packet? Did you actually read the document that I gave to you?
I know, I literally put your name in there, look.
You can read it after, you pass it.
That's right.
Famous line in the federal government.
Open this after you pass it.
Just sign here, take it home and read it.
Well, shall we move to crafting the motion to officially send the changes to city council?
I took half a crack at what I thought you guys might want to do. You do not have to do this exactly, but and Kathy, I'd appreciate your expertise, and Rick as well. A motion to forward the summary document with the recommended changes to the wards after any aesthetic changes that we, for instance, the information that Jerica mentioned. Let's see, let me read it again. Somebody would make a motion to forward the summary document to council with the recommended changes contained to the wards after any aesthetic changes are made to the or are finished. Kind of a concept, which is pagination or how it looks, that's not, as long as the changes, recommended changes to the wards are not changed, that's what would go would go to council, so. And I have it written out if anybody wants to use that as a guide to make the motion, but
This is not substantive.
if that's
That's
okay
a
with
lot of
you.
words. Somebody needs to read that.
As long as it's not
How about
substantive.
try this? So moved?
But you
actually-
can't make the motion,
that
can
ac-
you?
That actually works, yeah.
Oh, you can?
Does it really?
Okay,
If,
I'll
all the-
second.
there you go.
He's moved too.
So who made the first motion?
I did. Ashbrook.
Good.
I guess my question is, on the proposed changes towards black 2030 census tract, blah, blah, blah. How do you, the pictures are good, but is there a way to get that on?
So I got the whole thing, it was too fuzzy, so I tried using maps that were sent to me, but they don't have the same census blocks on them, so I'd be drawing imaginary lines.
Yeah,
So, I'm not sure the best way, when I took a picture, I'm short and I did the best I could from overhead.
yeah,
But it's not crystal clear. So if somebody has a really good camera and is able to get a very clear image of that, I can definitely add in an overview map and kind of highlight those sections.
just
But
the sections that are like going to,
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just that the PDFs that you sent me don't actually have all those red lines and the census numbers. It's more of a ward map without those census blocks.
okay.
So if we have the one with the census blocks, then I can definitely include those as well as reference.
Rick, have you made that electronic? Have you made these things electronic or just the paper copies?
I have electronic, a PDF version.
Is that
Of
what
the maps?
you,
Yeah, well, there's four different pages or sheets, but they don't have the counts for each block.
Yeah.
See, that's the
The
problem.
block numbers.
well, no, the count's not the issue. The block numbers weren't on the one Tim sent me. The block numbers and the red lines between, it's only the ward section 1 and section 2. And it's just like yellow on the map. If they have even the divide and the census block numbers without the count, I can use that.
Okay.
Yeah. But I didn't have that document. I can definitely alter these photos to all be images that'll be a lot sharper and clearer from that document and put them in right where these are. And then add one more as an overview and just highlight the areas.
I like that.
yeah, I just think, this is a little too,
It's a little
Too
too
up
tight.
close.
yeah,
Yeah, I was looking, and I have one big photo of it, but it's not clear enough to be
Well,
able to show people where it
if
is.
Rick can send you those PDFs
Yep.
that he's made, then you can maybe.
Absolutely.
Follow that up.
Yep.
Enforce that.
I just figured, rather than reinvent the wheel, let's ask Rick if he's already done it.
Yep.
I was gonna say, I can take them and get them scanned at a printer and then, as they are, and then I can get 4 PDFs of them and combine them all into one PDF and it'd be a pretty big file, but it would still,
Yeah, but I think he's got them, you have them in PDF, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so he has them, I think he just has a different file version than Tim had, cause those were just ward maps versus the census block map, that's kind of the big difference. So when I get that, I can update it and send it back around for everybody to take a look at.
That'd be great.
Good.
Excellent.
And that won't be changing anything in the report.
No.
No,
I
just
mean, just
pictometry.
replacing the images.
well,
Yep.
yeah,
Just a
it would
little bit more
help
of the
them
pageantry and
understand
everything
what's going on.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Yeah, and I tried to do that and the photo just wasn't clear enough, so I was like, alright, well, we'll work with the smaller ones.
When they do have the ability to be able to reference this map, right? They're all gonna be at the meeting, they can reference the map as well, right?
They could, I'm gonna try to find a better way to show them, I think. Several of them have asked me what the recommended changes were. It's very difficult, cause I can tell them, that block 1008 was moved from 3 to 2.
And that doesn't mean.
But if we don't have the blocks, it doesn't
Yeah.
do good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I apologized to them, of course, and said, I'll see if we can get you something that's a little bit more like exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, we do have a motion on the table, first and seconded, so
I'm sorry, who's second?
I did.
Alrighty.
Yep.
Ashbrook,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes?
Van Duren,
Yes.
Dewhurst,
Yes.
Sam's, Weiler,
Yes?
Zuckerman.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Motion approved. Maybe moving forward, try to send, what we're talking about out to this committee.
Mhm.
You can't really approve or unapprove it, via email, but sending it out and saying, this is what the document looks like. If anybody has any real heartache with it, please let us know.
Yeah.
As
Right,
opposed-
so like the motion to send this with some amendments is approved, we'll just all agree on those amendments and
Yeah.
no official approval, but the document will be finished between us and commentary, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
really,
it.
that's
And
it's
if-
already finished. It's just-
If somebody has a major objection, then we can decide, okay, we have to have another meeting to
Right.
go
Yep.
over that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well put.
Very
Sounds
good.
good.
Fantastic.
And, well, the population counts that she wants would be available from the last go-round at this, right?
And that's what they're looking
If you
for.
can
That's what they're
find it.
looking
That's
for,
what we're
yeah.
looking for, and all three of us have been spending a little bit of resources looking for it, we just haven't found it yet. And if we don't, it'll disappear, and
Yep.
if we do, you'll obviously recognize that immediately.
Yep, so either we'll take out that section and the percentage of increase, or we'll leave that in and that population count from 2010 will be in there with the percentage of growth increase in each of the wards as well on that next line. So that's all dependent on us finding 10-year-old
That
data.
Other than that, we're good.
All right, are any other questions or comments?
So I may have found some information, if you wanna look at it and see if this is what you're looking for. But I found a file on 2011.
Oh,
Oh, fantastic.
I don't know that we'd have to do that now, but
Okay.
I'm very grateful, thanks, Kath. A wealth of information as always.
Mhm. So are there any other questions or comments for the good of the group?
I guess my question is, you know, is there a way to improve the process for next time? I mean, not that we're done, but I mean, is there a way to, I mean, the work that was done here is great, but the technology is so much better and the way to map things and mark it up, and there's a way to, maybe not, I'm just throwing it out there for the group, is.
Oh, I think Rick's program, which, he has a program, have you
The
seen the
program's
program?
amazing, I'm talking about maybe the mapping part of it.
Oh,
The
okay.
visual
So the
documentation.
census sends
Yeah.
us those PDFs, so somebody would just have to digitally alter them after getting them to create sections that could be altered and moved. That's gonna be a decade by decade project, because we have to wait for
That's
data.
That's
And in 10 years from now, it's gonna be technology you and I never
Yeah,
thought about.
yeah.
We'll all be
Certainly, 10
hologram
years from
3D
now,
old.
it's quite
Yeah.
possible that it will be, the blocks will come from the Census Bureau as part of movable maps,
That's
Yep.
for sure.
that you can.
Yeah.
And
If-
not
I
only
if-
forgot,
that,
forgot it's 10 years from now.
10
Yeah.
years.
Oh,
And
yeah.
also
That's a
keep
good
in
point. Tell
mind-
us the technology.
That is,
one other thing to keep in mind is these census blocks don't stay the same. So what he was explaining is there used to be a lot more smaller blocks, and then they got bigger
Yeah,
at the
bigger and
next
bigger.
census, then they got bigger, and so now we have these like massive chunks, and they're like, well, there's like 80 people in this massive chunk, or, you know, instead of breaking that down into 7 different blocks. So those blocks could change by next census as well.
Okay.
I could see, no, maybe not us, but I could see this committee in 10 years standing up there and pulling stuff over.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Like
True, yeah.
Iron Man does when he,
You think about
Tony
what
Stark.
we're doing.
that technology may not be CGI in 10 years.
That's true.
Good point.
I just hope I'm here in 10 years.
That's what I was gonna say. If we're all back here in 10 years, that'd be a win.
That'll be win. Let's all meet again in 10 years.
I
I
second
can
that.
tell you, I'm fairly certain I will not be here in this role, so.
Or maybe we'll be holograms sitting here.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh.
We'll be able to be in 3 places at once by
Yeah.
then. I mean,
Well, if nothing else, do I have a motion for adjournment?
I moved.
I will second.
Ashbrook,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes.
Van Duren,
Yes.
Dewhurst,
Yes.
Sands, Weiler,
Yes.
Zuckerman.
Yes.
So moved, we are adjourned.
Less than 30
Look at
minutes.
that. Less than 30 minutes.
See this part?
Got it all done before
Pretty
January.
efficient.